You seem to tell me we're up.
We're live. We're up. We're up. Yeah.
Man, we gotta get better at that transition part. Like we need like a countdown or I don't know, something.
I think it does a countdown when you're on the computer. So I think we'll just keep it where Miles does the countdown.
Oh, there's a countdown?
Well, I pushed it. I started it from my
you
phone.
can hit start or you can like
I think when you do it from there, it tells you like 3, 2, 1. It's been so long since we've been in the studio, so I really don't know what is what.
Well, now and see, here's the thing. Like now, I'm trying to find our page so that I can share it. And now this is how we're starting out the
It should at you. Like I hope I put your Twitter thing in the right way.
Well, I'm on like.
Are you on the book of? Are you on the book?
Yeah,
of
I'm on Facebook. Jeez, what a way to start a show.
Man, this is interesting.
Yeah, now it's got me trying to share it to the sportsden page, which obviously I don't need to do since it's already on the sportsden page. All right, bump this. It's the sportsden. And we got so much to talk about. We don't need to be wasting time on stuff like this, but we do need y'all to share it like that.
Yeah, please.
That's
share
the
it.
bigger thing. Like, I mean,
share.
You're not going to want to miss this tonight, and you're going to want your friends to be involved. Like it's what is today? Labor Day? Is that what it is?
Yep, today's Labor Day.
Yep. So you want your friends to be involved in the Labor Day festivities, all that kind of stuff. Share this because we got so much to talk about. Like, I mean, we're going to try to get this done in a timely fashion. But who knows? We may be here a while. Just settle in. Get some ABC. That's what we did. ABC and chill. A little whiskey. Never hurt nobody. Hopefully you guys had a great Labor Day. Hopefully you guys had a great start of college football, man. What a start. Like all the way around. Everything from, did you watch the UCF game the other night?
I know, but I was talking mad trash in the beginning, and then it seems as if they turned it around. It was good all around, man.
It was just such a good weekend, man. And I don't, we talk about this all the time. When we talk about COVID, it's not from a political place or anything like that. But so regardless of what you think, whether there should be full stands or whatever, it was just so awesome to see the energy around college football again. Like as far as the game, I like the NFL better, but as far as sitting down and watching and the energy around it, it's not even close. College football is at a whole other level. The two games I was at this weekend, Georgia, Clemson, we'll get to that in a little bit. Boring game, but the atmosphere was unreal. Mm-hmm. And then last night in Tallahassee was something special.
Man,
that was something special on so many different levels. In fact, let's get to it. If you know us by now, you already know you should be ABC and chilling. You should already have your cigar from thehumidor.com. You should already have your drink from ABC. Like light it up, pour a drink, sit down with us for the next hour or so as we go through everything that happened this weekend. If we can get it in an hour, if we go long, y'all be fine. It'll be all right. I promise you. Last night in Tallahassee, trying to think where to even start because it was the atmosphere was. You see what I did there?
Yo,
see what I did there, Miles? You see that?
Yeah.
See the Florida State colors behind? Bam!
I don't know if they can see it though.
Beat that. They don't need to see.
That's cool though for us though. Ambience.
The atmosphere was legit. So let me just do it this way. Let's start there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got there, I came straight from Charlotte, and I got there and went into the.
What time did you get in?
5:30.
Okay,
like somewhere right around there. Went
straight. So you had to go straight to do the tour.
No, I didn't do the tour. And all
well, I mean, the person you were with though had to do it, right?
I don't know what they did. Oh. I really, but anyway, I went to the indoor, looked around. I was like, man, they got some cats here from a recruiting perspective.
Oh yeah.
And I got to tell you, my first thought. This is a mistake.
Virginia Tech all over again is what I was thinking.
This is a mistake, man. I'm looking around, and they've got not just unofficial guys, but official guys. Talked to Dillingham for a little bit before the game, and then Mike Norvell walks in, and that's where I started to get like a little sense of, okay, this is going to be okay. Because the dude walked into that building, bro, and I talk about this all the time with quarterbacks, and the energy changed before he ever said a word. And it wasn't even like that's Mike Norvell type of thing. Like he had a look on his face and a purpose to his walk And he needs to eat a cheeseburger, by the way. I'm starting to get concerned.
Yeah, he's not as petite as McKenzie.
Ooh, I don't know.
But he's small. He's a tiny.
I don't know. They're eating from the same salad bar.
But funny thing though is like he's bigger than the first time I seen him. Because the first time like I seen him in like he, when they came here in Jacksonville for the coaches thing, like he dapped me up and I was afraid to give him shoulder. Because if I gave him shoulder, he's a little thicker now, man.
All I'm saying, Mike,
he put on some he put on some quarantine pounds.
I didn't see it yesterday. All I'm saying, Mike, is when I'm coming back, I'm bringing a pizza. I want to see you eat. I'm worried about you. But anyway, I thought what he told the recruits was actually really dope. It was just like, hey, we're trying to bring this thing back. And what I can promise you you're going to see tonight is an amazing environment you're going to want to be in.
That's what he said?
Yeah.
What you're going to see tonight is an amazing environment that you're going to want to be in. And
he promised big plays, and that was it.
Smart. And then that's what he did. He did what he said he was going to do.
Then the game kicks off, and Notre Dame just marches down the field.
Right.
And I was on the field pregame. And let me just tell you, if you'd have said to me, if I didn't know anything about football, and you'd have said, okay, what's the score of this game going to be? I would have said 42-7. Notre Dame was that much bigger everywhere before the game on the field. When they scored that first time, what were you thinking? 4th and 1 blown coverage.
Right. What I was thinking is because I got a chance to see the replay. And just even that drive in general, it was positions where people were in position to make plays. So the first thing I thought was like, dang. Okay, we're still like 1 or 2 players away, but Fuller, for all of the flack that he gets, it was nothing like, so I wasn't in full panic mode. I'm like, okay, they may correct it because last year it was nobody there. Like, I think if I remember correctly right now without looking, because I watched the condensed version twice today. I think Brendan Gant was coming down and he just took a bad angle. If I remember correctly. And then that's the blown coverage.
Well, it was a quick snap too.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's
a great play.
But then I was thinking in my head, I was like, okay, what we have to do offensively is we have to respond what's going to happen.
And it didn't.
And then it did. And then I was like, well, if they score again, it's going to get bad. But then the opposite happened.
Go ahead.
We put up 14 unanswered.
That's the thing, like as a just observer. And we could sit here and we could break down so much about this game. But the two things as an observer that stuck out to me was Florida State the last couple of years, when something bad happens, it just comes unraveled. Like it gets really bad. And the second thing we've talked about on our show is there's a lot of times defensively where they just missed assignments. Last night, dude, they fit up the run beautifully all night.
It wasn't. There's going to always be missed assignments,
right? No
matter what you do, no matter how Alabama. You can go watch the Alabama game. They just got more cats that dominate at the point of attack to where it gets masked. It was just they were a missed tackle away from, and this is the wild part because people can say it's just Notre Dame all they want. Outside of a couple, and Notre Dame does historically.
What do you mean it's just Notre Dame?
That's the new narrative. The narrative before the game
was shut up. Y'all shut up.
If FSU's going to get blown out, then it's just Notre Dame.
Let's as a family here. If you're watching our show and at any point today you have said, "Man, y'all shut up. It was just Notre Dame." Stop watching. All right, go do something else. We don't need that level of ignorance watching our show. All right, continue. Go ahead. Just Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's just Notre Dame. But
shut your ass up.
Notre Dame is a very disciplined team. It's still a good team, even when they're having their bad year.
Bro, they were in the Final Four last year. They're a top 10 program.
Facts. It's just it's the trolling nature of how things are. But when 23 broke a long run, everything outside of the 3rd and 17 screen that was just really, to be honest with you, it was just a perfect play call.
I thought I was watching a Jag game, by the way.
Well, here's I'm gonna get to that. And I'm gonna touch on this, and then I'm gonna go back to where I was talking about with the missed tackles. For 5 years, FSU fans have bitched about Charles Kelly and his inability to bring pressure on 3rd and long. Harlan Barnett did the exact same thing. Fuller did that last year. Fuller brings pressure on 3rd and long, and they just it happens in good chess matches.
You can't get caught on 3rd and 17.
But here's what has to. Here's what has to happen.
Everybody knows that's.
But here's what has to happen with the players. When the guy doesn't touch you, you've got to have the wherewithal to be. Oh, wait a minute, screen. And if you just stop, you can back up a little bit. You could jump. You make it difficult for him to make that throw, and that's what didn't happen. But the fact that guys were almost in positions to be able to make plays is what's encouraging. A couple missed tackles here or there. A guy not taking good angles on an approach for a tackle. Akeem Dent. The 2 touchdowns that were bombs. Travis J was literally in great coverage. He just had no ball skills.
He's a good player.
One of them, literally, the ball hit him in the hand.
He's a good player, though.
So
he was all over the place.
And people are like, "Oh, he sucks. He stinks." I'm like, "Did you not see the fact that he's way better at corner than he was at safety? He does way more for us. The
safety y'all got from South Carolina is a good player.
Yeah, a couple times I questioned what he did, but when I went back and watched the totality of the game, he looks now, really, really good.
Now the safety from Notre Dame,
yes. So
boy,
and I wanted to talk about
that is a top 10 pick right there.
So let's talk about. So I need you to tell me this. And I know Dilly might jump on this, and this is what I like. Critique is critique.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't my fault. I didn't go out there and throw 3 interceptions. But I noticed this last year. This is simple flood zone concept. It's supposed to be levels, but it never seems like there are levels. They all seem to be really, really close to each other for it to be considered levels. And that last one that tipped off of Cam McDonald's hand that was on 4th and 2. I believe Jordan was late on the throw anyway, because if you're going to throw it to him, that should be your first read.
That was the last one, or the
4th and 2 was their last interception. It bounced off of the wide receiver's hand, but that the tight end is at 1 yard anyway.
Yeah,
like if he would have caught it, it would have had to be an incredible play for him to get the first down anyway. So it was just a bad play call. But it just seems like Florida State quarterbacks, all of them did it last year, and Jordan Travis did it 3 times. Do this rollout to the short side of the field, and we're just going to run, and we're just going, if we're about to run about, we're going to just throw it up in the air and hope something good happens. If everybody does it, it just seems like it's coached, and I want to believe Dilly ain't coaching that. Or is this something in the quarterback world that we're all ignorant to?
No, I don't think okay, a couple things. One, and I don't remember which interception it was. The one that the safety came all the way from the other side.
That's number 2.
Okay.
He doesn't need, don't run a 40. You, number 14, if you run the 40 at the combine, I'm coming and I'm snipping your Achilles. You need to show that film, and that's it.
Let me finish this thought, though, because that's not on Jordan. That's just at some point you just got to tip your hat and go, that dude's
that was a hell of a play.
He was far hash. There's no reason for Jordan to believe even thinking that. But this whole notion of like assessing quarterback play, dude, it's impossible. It's really impossible because I don't think anybody teaches, hey, roll to the short side of the field. I think comes a point though when the interior of your line is getting pushed back and that you realize that I really can't drive up in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I really can't. And there becomes this sense of like, I'm gonna call it panic, but that's probably the wrong word. And so you do whatever's comfortable. So if you're right-handed, you go right. If you're left-handed, you go left. And I think in any game, in any opening game, I'm not a Florida State fan, and so y'all just pay attention to me when I say this. Florida State damn near won that game against a top 10 team with just listen to this, because I don't know if you've thought about this. First game of the year, mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So people in wrong areas with the route, stuff like that. But here's the bigger thing. They didn't get a turnover, did they?
No.
Okay, because you can't count the Hail Mary. That was the only interception.
Yeah.
Forget that.
No defensive turnovers.
Y'all listen to this. Florida State lost the turnover battle by 3 or 4?
3 that I remember.
There wasn't a fumble?
I don't think we had any fumbles.
Okay. Lost the turnover battle by 3 and went to overtime with a top 10 team.
Mm-hmm.
If you just said before the game that there's going to become that there's going to be a 3 a +3 for Notre Dame, and 2, that Notre Dame would get up by 3 scores at one point.
Mm-hmm.
You would have said, and I don't care who you are, Florida State fan, Florida fan, Miami fan, troller, non-troller, whatever, you'd have said that game's going to be 40-something to nothing, or that's going to be a 6-touchdown game based on Florida State's recent history.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what happened. And for that reason, like, the one thing that I want to tell Florida State fans that I want y'all to really pay attention to here, stop with the trolling. You've got your guy. You've got your staff. Like, you don't need to see anything else besides what you saw last night. I don't give a dang what happens this week. There's going to be some type of letdown this week.
Without a doubt.
Right? And we'll get to the Mackenzie Milton thing in a second. You just take everything that happened last night, packed stadium, full of energy, full of, not really full of expectations. Like, let's see what happens.
People were excited. I would say this.
Cautiously optimistic.
It was full of hope.
There you go.
Because
Bobby Bowden.
Right. This is why I was full of hope. People are going to have to eat crow if it looked like 3 years ago with Virginia Tech. Because you gave year 0. And I don't mean in a negative way. I'm just saying you're going to, like, all of because over the summer, all it was if you're any kind of, because I got a lot of it. If you're any kind of critical, oh, you're just a tag lover. You just don't do this. You just don't do that. But people are like, hey, the 3-6 doesn't look good. If it didn't look, not just a loss, if it was a blowout with all these recruits, with all these things, you're going to have to start, like, you may have to start at least entertaining what some other people are saying. And that's not what, no matter what kind of fan you are, that's not where you want to be at if you're a Florida State fan. You don't want to feel like you've been let down twice.
No,
in the head
you
coaching
don't.
Searches.
But I would tell you, like I would tell every Florida State fan, forget about the past for a second. And think about the culture shift that happened last night. And I'm the best way I can put this is this. I had a kid there last night who Florida State wants. And he's young. And I told him, weeks ago, I was like, take your time, man. You're going to get offers everywhere. I told him today, it's like, listen, if you like this Florida State thing, you may want to move on this because of what happened last night. And people love to be a part of the rebound story. Like, people love to be a part of that. And they had an impressive group of guys there last night. And as a fan of an opposing team, but as somebody who really likes the staff, and I've been consistent on this, I was pulling for them last night. And it was one of those things where I can say without a shadow of a doubt that my instinct on this staff was correct. These dudes know what the hell they're doing. Like, you can watch that game and you can see everything from schematically to mentally to physically to everything that they're doing. We've called them small nonstop, and they're still small. But bro, like, what else do you want out of that team? And I know there's Florida State fans go, man, we're Florida State. We don't motivate. Man, forget it. Forget that. A win would have been better, but you feel better right now than you did 2 weeks ago as a Florida State fan. I guarantee you that.
Without a doubt. If you like, it's not a moral victory. It's a victory for college football, because
that's
what
right.
what I said going into it, I just want to enjoy a football game. And if you're a Florida State fan and you say you didn't enjoy that football game,
nah, you're lying.
You're lying.
You're lying. You're trying to be a tough guy.
You're a really weird person, because as I learn more and more, I'm an old head. Every old head I talk to, they all said this, even the ones who were critics behind closed doors, all said, man, that was different.
Yep.
That seemed fought. And I said on me Freddie Stevens' Inside Drills podcast with our instant reaction show, there have been some damn good Florida State teams that have lost to Notre Dame teams and still had good seasons. Obviously, the 93 team won a national championship. Not saying that they're anywhere near that, but when you look at how other teams lost, or you look at the landscape of college football, and you look how you competed, you can't help but for the next 5 weeks be like, you know what? There's not a team on that schedule that's better than the team that we just took to extra football. And you have to feel like you at least have a chance. Where people like called me crazy for saying I believe the 7 games that are on FSU's schedule like your that are closer to that, like your ACC, your Wake Forest. They're like, well, you know, Boston College, you got to give. I'm like, okay, I don't think Boston College is anywhere near as good as Notre Dame. Now it doesn't translate that way, but it gives you a little bit more confidence in what you're talking
I'm
about.
glad you're saying that, because I said last week that if they win 7 games, the coaching staff needs an extension. I'm still going to say that because it's still the same set of circumstances.
It's the energy. So last year, outside of,
by the way, I think they're going to win more than 7 now. I'm just saying, don't change that opinion
because of the Notre Dame game.
You know what? Yeah.
But last year when they lost, they quit. They lost big most of the games. Like, no doubt, when you lose to North Carolina State by 25 or however much it was, that's embarrassing. Right there, you lost and you were fighting the entire time. You lost, and that's not up to standard. But my expectations, as I always say, the standard is a standard, but my expectations are set to get me toward the standard.
That makes sense.
I can't say, as James Coleman, former alumni, or if I was watching it as just as an analyst, I can't say with what my expectations were that they weren't met, and that they don't look like they're moving toward what the standard is. And that's all you can ask for. Now, what was really exciting was the fact that you had a packed house of talented ass 2022 and 2023 recruits that can see themselves. See, I can go as a coach and show, hey, you see what just happened with McClain on that when he scored that touchdown? You see what happened with Ja'Kai Douglas when he scored that touchdown? Parchment ain't been here but a couple weeks. You see how we were able to get him the ball right there? Hey, look at you. You don't think you have a chance here? Trayshawn Ward was a walk-on, and now he's getting significant minutes. Corbin is getting this. If I'm Yak,
you want to know the
I'm
best.
I'm saying like, dude, I'm looking at a running back. It's a running back from Las Vegas. I'm looking at him like, man, boy, you think that was some? Wait till I get the running back that I want.
Listen, man, you know the best part about that? You ain't got to say nothing if they were there. I compare that last night to 2 games I went to in 2019. Oddly enough, one was Notre Dame, Georgia. There was an atmosphere that no recruiting had to happen. The atmosphere sold itself. Florida, Auburn, 2 weeks later, same thing. And if you go back and you look at the commitments that both of those schools got shortly after, they didn't have to sell nothing. Florida State don't have to sell nothing. In fact, I would make the argument that Florida State right now has an easier pitch than a lot of schools because of what you just said. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you can get on the field early and you can play in this?
Right.
Like, because these people are starved. That's what it was. Like, forget COVID, forget all that. What that was 80,000. I don't know what y'all stadium seats.
We were at 80.
Okay. That was 80,000 people starving for relevance.
Right.
That's what, forget COVID. That's what that was. That was 80,000 people that got there early that said, okay, we're going to scream because we don't know how long we're going to be in this game. And as the game continued on, they kept going, oh, shit, we got something here.
It was quiet for a little bit in the third quarter when they made that run. But then when we scored that touchdown, that's when everything slowly but surely started coming back. And it reminded when I was telling the people who were with me, I was like, man, the way College Town was looking for the block party, which it used to be the downtown get down, but they got smart. They got all these properties. They kept it on campus now. When I was walking through trying to get to where the concession stands that I was running were at, and I couldn't get anywhere, and I'm looking in the stadium where I'm at, and I'm just looking around, and even with the tribute to Bobby, when they had everybody turn their flashlights on their phone, I'm looking around. I was like, it's a hell of a lot of flashlights in here.
By the way, props to Notre Dame fans on that too. They fully participated.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
It felt like when I was at Florida State, and when we did we do this thing, I believe it's called the Legacy Walk that Mike does the night before every game. All the former players come, they line up, they meet the guys in the end zone, and then we do a walk. Like, they're in front of us, they're elbow to elbow. Locked in, and then we're locked in, the former players, and we're walking behind them. And then they get there, and then all the former players get a chance to say their piece. It just, as I told us, like, guys, some of you don't know what it's like to play in front of dope packed. It is an experience. It is, when I got a chance to go to New Orleans, when I go around, I see other rivals and I see stuff. They're like, man, I hated playing there. Like, you guys are, that damn fight song is so damn annoying. Is this? And I'm like, they think it's annoying. We used to think that was just crazy. Yep. And then, and then as a recruit, I remember walking out on the field to a packed Doak, and you start looking in the crowd and you start visualizing like, yo, if this is what it's like to play, like this is way different than high school. Most people play in front of 2,000-3,000 people. You're playing in front of this many, and it's national TV. Like, what better way? Like I said, it was a great experience, great atmosphere.
Before we get to the fact that somebody almost died at your tailgate, we have to do this, and then we got to move on, or we're going to be here till midnight. Mackenzie Milton, Jordan Travis.
Right.
The average person is going to say it's Mackenzie Milton's now.
Without a doubt. And I can understand why.
I can too.
When Mackenzie goes in, stadium erupts.
Yep.
If I'm Mackenzie, I don't even know how your emotions could even could not overwhelm you.
Dude, I'm emotional. I was emotional watching it.
Yeah.
Just knowing what the kid overcame.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And then the cheers. And he goes in. And what I tell people is this, because I don't want to take anything from him. It's incredibly poised. Like, the situation didn't get too big for him. There were times when the pocket broke down. And I'm going to be honest, there are things that he can do that Jordan Travis can't do. But then there are things that Jordan Travis can do that he can't do. And the problem is you need both of them in a complete quarterback.
Can you rephrase that though? Because this is the way I thought about it. There are things that he can do that Jordan Travis can't do, but I would rephrase that. There are things that he's seen that Jordan Travis hasn't seen.
That's fair too, but that's not even what I'm getting to.
Okay.
So what I mean is there's a couple of times where he dropped back and he needed to sprint, but he looked like he was running in quicksand or he had gum on his shoe. And Jordan Travis actually takes that, and that's like a 15-yard play, possibly touchdown with his athleticism at that point in the game. Jordan Travis probably doesn't stay in the pocket when he throws it to Keyshawn Hilton and he gets crushed. So like him seeing and knowing and anticipation is a little bit better, but it was also one play where he tried to roll out. And as I tell people, they get mad. If you see him, Mackenzie Milton is a petite male.
Yeah,
he is very small.
I told you, he and Mike eating from the same salad bar, bro.
I wouldn't say Plies petite, but he's not very big. And like a guy literally, and I said this, it's like literally a defender's just going to reach, grab him, and sit his ass down. And that literally happened in the game. But I think we saw the one big play up the sideline. And I forgot who it was. The throw was to. Was it? No, it wasn't, because McClain scored. It was thrown on the sideline. Got caught it. Everybody got excited. But Mackenzie Milton was let's not get it twisted. He was 5 for 7. That big throw. 2 of the completions were at 1 yard or behind the line of scrimmage, and somebody made the shuttle pass.
I'm not going to let you discount.
No, I'm not discounting at all. What I'm saying is people made it seem like we just saw the Jameis Winston freshman year against Pittsburgh. But what we did see was a very poised guy who had seen a lot of things come in and take some great and continue to maintain the momentum.
There was one play. Florida State ran I call it an option under. I mean, it's like a shovel pass, but it's the way that he ran that, and the patience he ran that with. That's one of the 1 yard passes you're talking about.
When I say he can't, so I had missed. I was looking for you and going run. Jordan, they ran that earlier in the game, but when Jordan Travis is running it, everybody's flowing with the athleticism.
No. So that's what I'm saying.
It was a great play call and a great execution.
Here's the point that both of us, we hadn't even talked about this, but I think we're on the same page with this, is that you don't give up on Jordan Travis right now. That's not the situation. Jordan Travis had 3 interceptions, and I'm going to do a deeper dive into the game because I'm really interested on a couple of things with Jordan Travis, because I didn't think he played horribly, like at all. I know that sounds crazy, but I really didn't. But I think there's something with Jordan, man. I just think you can do more. Now, Mackenzie, here's the thing. What he has up here, what he has between the ears, you can't shove that into a kid.
No.
Like, and the calmness that he walked in with, and the
Mhm.
calmness in that on that stage with everything he's been through and the emotions, and I don't care what anybody says, the uncertainty of a knee, I don't give a damn how many reps you've taken. And when you've seen your knee snapped in half,
Mhm.
that you're not going out there completely confident.
Right.
What he did between the years, man, is one of the coolest freaking things I've ever seen in my life.
And the only reason I'm speaking the way I'm speaking is because, again, in that moment with the energy, the momentum shifting, there's people who think he led us on the 18 play drive, 18 points coming back, without realizing that, one, we were driving already down the field when that happened. And Jordan Travis had literally just, again, things that he can do. The receiver slipped before he scored a touchdown to Parchment. The receiver actually slipped on that play that he was looking for. It was in the pocket, incredible patience. He scrambles out, and Parchment and the DB are both coming there. I don't know if it was supposed to be a comeback. Don't know what happened, but he threw the ball. Parchment literally turned around, and the ball was in his chest. So, like, that was a hell of a play. And then the 2-point conversion with Keyshawn Helton. There are things that I want people to, we have to stop doing, especially FSU fans or just fans in general, because Florida's dealing with something similar right now.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Like, stop making it to where, oh, this guy must start because this guy's ass.
Right.
It's not that simple.
We're going to get to that.
It's really a situation where the team, because this is what I want people to realize. It was 265-65. The rushing attack. Florida State's rushing game, even when KZ was in, when Mackenzie Milton was in, we were chewing up big chunks of yards. And Notre Dame. And then I also want people to go back and watch it, because I noticed it, but I wasn't sure. But I also know football. You knock out a quarterback, the first thing the defense does gets conservative until they figure out what the other quarterback is doing. They stopped blitzing like they were doing those first 2 drives. Now, when we got to the 3 points, they started bringing that pressure a little bit, and as well as overtime. And what I want to see before I go full out is another game. I want to see Mackenzie do that when he's been game planned for, and people are coming at it, because I'm not saying he can't do it, but then I'll be like, you know what? All right.
Can I let me ask something as a Florida State fan. When it comes to quarterback play, do you trust Dan Mullen?
Yeah, I trust Dan Mullen.
Okay, so I said earlier that you guys have your guy, right? What I'm going to suggest to Florida State fans is that the Florida State staff, Mike Norvell, Kenny Dillingham, all those guys, like, they want to win worse than y'all do. You realize that. And there's certain staffs that they can want to win all they want to do. They're just not capable of doing it. Y'all have your staff. Y'all have that. So much like what I'm going to talk about when we get to Florida in just a minute, I'm going to talk about Florida State. If you believe you have your staff, then this isn't a worry for you. They're going to play the guy that gives them the best chance to win, period, end of story. And if you have any level of trust that what goes on Monday through Friday in Tallahassee is an indicator of what's going to happen on Saturdays, then you're just going to sit back and you're going to go, okay, whoever they run out, there's a reason they're running them out. That being said, I think they also saw something with Mackenzie Milton they weren't 100% sure was still there, because he hasn't played football in almost 1,000 days. Right. And so that's you now, you know.
Yeah. Now you know he can do it. And and it's incredible because folks have been saying it, and we saw it a little bit in the spring game, because the practice, he's not so much of a practice player, but he is a gamer. And there's something to be said for that. And I agree with that. But I also say, man, you got to show it in practice so you can get time, because it's not, especially at the quarterback position. Because, like, I'm a wide receiver. I need timing.
Yeah.
I need to know.
You're right.
Like, wide receiver, you can be a wide receiver that's a gamer.
But the timing, though, like, I'm going to tell you something, man. Like, the timing of that stuff is more on the receiver at practice of running routes at the same speed he's going to run it. We talked about Colin Johnson here at the Jags, and I can tell you right now, like, that's a good example. Like, if you're a 4-5 guy, I need you to be a 4 or 5 guy for at least 10 plays in practice so that my quarterback can get the timing. Like, the quarterbacks, that's anticipation. The timing's on the receivers during the week. Hey, we got to move on. Yep. Can you cue up, Miles, the video for us? Because I didn't make it to I planned on making it to your tailgate, but this is what happens This is what happens at your tailgate right here. This is a former Florida State player, correct?
This is a former one of the best fullbacks to ever play.
Look, people trying to talk my man. Don't do it. Is this your truck?
Yes, that is my truck.
Why are you letting this happen?
I was talking to some friends.
What?
I don't know what he was gonna do.
Bro, run that again. Like, I mean, do you understand what just happened there? Have you checked on him today?
I checked. He talked to me. He was fully aware. I think
who is this?
This is Lonnie Clinton Pryor.
Who's that?
I have no idea who any of those people are.
They're trying to talk him out of
$40. They're trying to talk him out of there. And Lonnie's been drinking moonshine and shots. Now, in Lonnie's defense, it looked way worse in real life. Like, I thought he died.
It looked worse in real life than that?
I thought his head hit the ground. His head did not hit the
If
ground.
you're listening to this, not watching it, go to our YouTube page. Go follow the Sportsden on YouTube.
Or you go it's my pinned tweet at Big Game Jam.
YouTube's
oh, my bad. Get the YouTube views. Okay, I'm sorry. Hey, get the YouTube.
I mean, what? Lonnie.
Elbows. Now, what I will say this is that he did fall better than most people have been falling with the crate challenge and all these other things. He fell on his knees and his elbows, and it protected his face. I walked over after I saw it because
we needed our ABC.
I did not want that to be the way that ABC was represented in my tailgate because I did not want no fullbacks were harmed in the filming of that video. By the way, but that's just let you know.
Good time.
Great time. 150 people came.
I wanted to come, dude. I had no idea how far Charlotte was from Tallahassee.
Yeah, it's
a long way.
Yeah.
I wanted to show up. I'll definitely hit one this
but we had a lot of libations was consumed.
I can see
a lot of food was consumed. I'm gonna be honest with you. You can there's a lot of talent out there. You can with the alcohol and the food. If you're in relationship trouble, you can rekindle your relationship. Because I've seen it happen. I actually saw some. Well, they're divorced now, but I helped somebody get engaged at one of the tailgates.
But if you're divorced now,
but that had nothing to do with me at the tailgate. The tailgate saved their relationship at that moment. If they would have came to more tailgates, maybe they would have stayed married.
Dang COVID.
But if you're on the outs, and you're looking for replacements, you could fill your roster there as well.
I would suggest that if you're solid with your relationship. Based on what I just saw,
you
probably shouldn't come.
What you should do, bring them, or just hang out with solid. Like, come find me. I'll make sure you don't get in trouble.
If that's not what you want to do. Did you video that?
I did not videotape that. Somebody else videotaped it. But when I found out that Lonnie was okay, I told Lonnie, and this is what people got to understand about me. When they told me I was videotaping practice. When they told me about Kenny Dillingham falling, stop, dropping, and rolling in practice off of his one good leg,
they being me,
I cut it and I put it on Twitter. They know, they all laughed about it. And I don't care who
the most athletic thing I've seen so far this football season.
Lonnie is my friend. He's on there. So when people are Gator fans are getting mad at me about Trey Dean, do you think I care about? I don't know Trey Dean. I know those other two people and put them on Twitter. If something happens to my own son and they're not dying, I'm going to put that up there because it's funny. It's hilarious. I have a sense of humor. I'm not a tool. Yeah, but that right there is the tailgate experience. You don't flipping off of tailgates is not encouraged, but drinking, having a good time. It was a great vibe. Like I said, 150 people are there. Hopefully, I think we're going to do Louisville. Will be the next one. Love to have 200. We'll do homecoming, and then we'll do a big one for Miami.
Oh, Miami's at home?
Miami's at home.
Okay.
Sometime in November. And so I mean that's the goal is just it's partying with a purpose. I kid you not. If you don't believe me, you just follow me on Twitter. You'll see all the stuff that I'm doing. I'm not doing, excuse me. We're doing in the community. Every bit of that money is gonna go to at least get programs started before we do other fundraising. Because one of the hardest things to do, you got to raise money to get some of this stuff started. And I'm lucky that, you guys want to party and drink as much as you want to.
We have to move on. Maybe we should do this in the next couple of weeks, just spend an hour on each game.
Okay.
Maybe that's the way we should be doing this, but we have to move on. We're going to spend some time on Florida FAU. Not a lot of time because it's FAU. And I was at see there, Florida Lights. There
Nice.
we go. I went to Charlotte, so I want to spend some time. I got some hot takes on Clemson. And some hot takes on Georgia's quarterback as well. So I want to spend some time on that. The big thing out of Florida FAU, Florida looked the way they're supposed to look. Like if you're searching for something to go, man, Florida's not. You're just searching, okay? Like it's FAU. Okay, FAU brought back their entire defense. There was some experience there, all that kind of stuff. But Florida scored early, scored 14 in the first quarter. Like that's what you want to see in those games.
Okay,
you know what
so
I mean?
it was all right.
Yeah, so it's like I think at one point, I mean, FAU's 2 touchdowns came in the fourth quarter. So at one point, Florida was shutting them out for a significant amount of time. The couple of things that you wanted to see was what does Florida's defense look like, number one. And if you've listened to me consistently, I've told you that's going to be the strength of their team. They've got multiple first-round guys in that front, and they showed it. They're going to be fine. As long as Todd Grantham don't screw this thing up, they're going to be fine. And I don't mean that despairingly to Todd Grantham. I'm just going off what he did last year. Maybe the worst defense I've ever seen in my life last year. People not lining up. People playing man coverage, not lining up. Like trips coverage, a trips formation in a bowl game, 12 games in, and you don't know how to line up. Like, okay, Grantham, sorry, that's on you, dog. Like, that wasn't the situation Saturday. All right. So fine. The big thing to come out of Saturday is the quarterback situation in Gainesville. Before I say my piece on this, I'm going to say the same thing I said about Mike Norvell and Kenny Dillingham. I'm going to say it about Dan Mullen. I trust Dan Mullen. If Emory's playing, there's a reason Emory's playing. With that being said, Anthony needs to be playing.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Richardson showed you what I've been telling you guys for the past year. His development is where it needs to be. You cannot, and this is not a knock on Emory. Emory is a great player, much like we talked about with Jordan Travis and Mackenzie Milton. When I talk about Anthony, I'm saying nothing about Emory. Anthony is the most talented guy that I've ever worked with. Colin Hurley, the freshman, may be right there with you. But to this point, Anthony Richardson is the most talented guy that I've ever worked with. If you don't believe me, just go Google his name and watch him dunk a basketball. Watch him turn flips. Watch him do whatever you want to watch. He's a freak. James can tell you. He is a massive human being who's extremely powerful, who James didn't want to shake his hand again.
Yeah, he dang near broke my wrist.
He needs to be on the field.
Mm-hmm.
He can win a Heisman. He's that good. And I think when people heard me say that, they're like, well, that's just one of your guys, Denny. And then they saw it on Saturday. Did you see it?
I saw some highlights, and I saw him. Was he breaking tackles or making people miss? I don't remember. I just vaguely watched it.
Yes,
and
both.
I was sitting and he was the talk of one of my group chats, and I said, "You see, you guys don't understand. People who are actually have a lot of things to do. We don't always get into trolling. Like I tell people, I try to leave my trolling to Fridays, but I can't really do that now because I'm coaching again. But like usually,
did y'all win Friday?
No,
okay,
another close
All
loss. Right. But my Fridays are typically
did
when
my
I
boy
have
play
time.
Okay?
Yes,
okay.
But he was put in some positions that a freshman shouldn't have been put.
Okay,
and that's
like on the field.
Well, no,
that's the conversation that we're gonna have on air one day.
He's fine on the field. It's just he shouldn't be trying to lead a comeback. That's not his fault. But when I see, but they were talking about, that guy could be a problem. I said, see, I told y'all. I said, like, it's not even if you put pressure on them or things like that. I don't even know how that stuff works. I said, what I'm concerned is in Dan Mullen's offense, you don't have to be a phenomenal passer per se if you can run it.
But he is.
But I'm saying he's got a cannon for an arm. But if your linebackers are expected to drop and they drop, and then you got to see a guy that probably runs for at least sub 4.5. He's a high school 4.4 with the leg. It doesn't matter. Bottom line, he's faster than Tebow. And that was Tebow.
Go watch his long run the other day.
Mm-hmm.
He beat Angles by 20 yards.
Without a doubt. But I'm saying when he gets top, bottom line is he's fast. When he gets top speed and he's over, is he 230 now?
He's almost 240.
Yeah, I'm not hitting that.
No.
Not with a 10-yard head of steam.
No.
If you're doing that, you got to be crazy to play the sport anyway. But if you're doing that, you got to pick your poison. You're not going to come up top because you're going to get trucked. And if you try to go low,
well, he's going to jump over you like you did.
Yeah, like he hurdled the one guy. That, you know what? That's the best way to go. One person has to go low so that he can hurdle the person and lose his momentum, and then somebody else can come over and wrap him up.
Yeah, I texted him. I was
I'm not hitting
him.
him.
Let's not hurdle people. But here's the thing about Anthony Richardson. I gave this example to somebody, or this comparison to somebody earlier. He is a combination. I really feel this way, and I've been consistent. He's a combination. People call him Cam Newton, but he's not Cam Newton. He throws the ball a lot better than Cam did at that age. Okay. I'm not saying Cam when he won MVP in the NFL. I'm talking about at 19 years old or 20 years old because he's young. He's a combination of what Cam and Dak Prescott was.
Okay.
In college, both Dan Mullen at one point guys. He can throw a football. He's very accurate. He's very strong. He's very smart. He's all that stuff. When we don't know his processing time, and I'm getting into kind of the weeds here, but I mean, I've done drills that I think it's fine. I think he's good.
Okay.
Right. But I don't know what it is when the lights are on because he hasn't played. The reason why Emory Jones is the starter right now, let's just be crystal clear, and I don't have any inside information, but I'm confident in saying this, is because Emory's done it before. It's because Emory's been in games, and they've seen Emory throw passes. They've seen this out of Anthony Richardson the last month. We've been hearing about it. They've seen this in practice, but they don't know if it's going to happen in a game. Well, they saw it.
I'm gonna be honest. Y'all play at Bama in 2 weeks, right?
Yep. He gives you the best chance to win.
Period. This is me like an AR-15, but the reality of the situation is, I'm not trying.
Oh wait, you're saying
you think Richardson gives you the best chance?
No doubt.
Against Bama,
without a doubt. I'm not saying they're gonna win. Let's be clear about that.
No,
I'm saying if you're the offensive coordinator, which is Dan Mullen,
who do they play this week?
USF, who's one of the worst teams in college football right now.
Right.
But if you're Dan Mullen, you have your play sheet, right? That laminated sheet that you see that they make on, early in the week. And that play sheet starts one way, and then you dial it down to what situationally and what your quarterback is comfortable with. With Emory Jones, let's say, I don't know, hypothetically, you have 30 plays. With Anthony Richardson, you may have 50. With Anthony, you can say, we're going to run our quarterback 11 on 11, and we don't care if you know about it. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work against Alabama because that's some dogs, but you can feel much more confident about it than what you can with Emory. And I like Emory. Emory starts at 90% of the colleges in America right now. I'm just saying that now that you guys have seen Anthony Richardson and know that I'm not lying to you just because he's a 6 points guy, now you guys see when I tell you this is baseline talent, the best I've ever seen, I'm not bullcrapping you now. This dude he does things that nobody else can do, James. It's that simple. And to give you credit, you said it before I did. You said when they were recruiting him, as a Florida State fan, I do not want them getting this dude
right
in Gainesville.
I thought, and there's a lot of situations that I feel like this with tag, that there were some guys that we missed the boat on. When Florida dropped him, or for whatever reason, the decommit happened, right?
Right.
And I was just like, yo, I actually talked to some guys over at Florida State because there was interest there. I'm like, yo, y'all need to offer this kid. And I don't even believe.
Are you telling me they did not offer him?
They may have offered. Y'all need to show the interest. Y'all, this is who y'all need to go with, and they didn't.
Wow.
Now, when this happened, though,
bro, that may be.
This was before Jeff, so this was early in the process, and it was just one of those. Now what I will say though is during that time, from then until early signing period, that boy looked like two different men.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So
he went from Urkel to Jamal.
So yeah, and then before that, everybody remembered him looking like a wide receiver. And I don't know.
That's a grown ass man.
What the water and so a lot of people joke about this, but they're kind of serious.
We need to pull that up and put that on here one day. Actually,
I know he not juicing, but I'm just saying a lot of people be like, "All right, that kid's juicing," and that was all natural.
Do you know how to go to Google and then put it up here? Just type in Anthony Richardson 247 sports and scroll down, go to images, scroll down, and so we can put up what James is talking about. There's a before and after picture of Anthony Richardson. That's the greatest 11-month transformation that I've ever seen in my life.
It's one of those things like
it's great. If not,
you know what? If I ever get back into the gym business,
he's your name. He's your NIL guy.
I'm just letting you know right now. I'm using you.
By the way, his clothing line AR-15, Green Acres. You need to get on top of that.
I don't know if they can.
Why?
Because I think you can't you can't do.
They can't do it through us.
Oh, you know what?
We can't have an Anthony Richardson weekly segment.
Facts, fair, and then we're just paying them. We're just fair enough.
Right.
Fair enough. I never thought about that.
Right.
That's creative.
So I don't know what Florida's going to do, and I trust Dan Mullen with this, but I'm just saying Emory's going to play on Sundays, I think, although there were some sketchy things that happened Saturday. Emory's going to play on Sundays, but Anthony Richardson, he's not going anywhere. He's not transferring. It's not Cam Newton from that standpoint.
Which is funny when a lot of people tell you that your guys are leaving.
Right.
And you talk to him.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He and Emory are like super close. And here's the thing about Anthony. If y'all want to know like the downside to Anthony is extremely, he reminds me of Joey Gatewood in this way. He's very much introverted, right? He's not a social guy. So he goes to practice, he goes to school, graduated early, then he goes home and he just chills, and he's got a dog and a girlfriend, and mom lives there in Gainesville, and that's who he spends his time with. And I think sometimes that can be, misconstrued as, this guy's not, out there. He's not. He just wants to chill. But when the dude gets on the field, man, I don't know that I've ever seen anything like that guy. And I'm going to make a statement, and I don't want people to take this literal. He's the closest thing that Florida has seen to Tim Tebow since Tim Tebow, but he does some things better than Tim Tebow, including throw the football.
He's faster.
People ask me all the time, can Anthony throw the football? Can he be accurate? I got a text today from someone said, can he be a 65 to 68% completion percentage? Yeah, Anthony can be a 70% completion percentage guy. He is hella talented throwing the football. Like he's amazing. And it's not anything I've done. That's what he is. I don't know how you keep that off the field. And he's not a guy that I worry about. And I get what you're saying. You go into Alabama, you don't want to wreck the kid. I don't worry about that with him.
Well, not so much wreck the kid, because I don't think
we need a bartender, by the way.
Yeah, we do. I need a refill. But at this point, you really can't like he's grown at this point. He's not a true freshman. He's a redshirt freshman. Technically, he's a COVID freshman.
I think he just turned 19, too. Yeah. That's a scary thing.
And I get that because I played as a 19-year-old. Mm-hmm. And you make mistakes. The only way you can wreck a kid is if you're like really like you're putting national championship expectations on a kid when you're barely a division expectation.
Yeah.
Other than that, and I heard Toby, my son's godfather, made this comment. You're looking at Friday, and I'm looking at 3 years from now.
That's right. No, that's right.
He's like, so right now, when this kid trots out there and he makes freshman mistakes right now, I didn't expect him to do much. What I need him to do is because I think one of the biggest things is if you understand why you made a mistake, there's an ability to correct it. And not to go back to Florida State, but that's why I was telling people, they're like, you're not, you must be sad. Why? First off, I'm not playing. So why would I be sad? I want them to win, but like I didn't lose, they lost. But two, when I look at it, like, every mistake is correctable. They didn't like when you see somebody get their ass whooped, you're like, well, shit, I don't know. What am I supposed to think? Right. I don't know what to do. Right. But when you can correct the mistake and you can be like, okay, well, now you know not to do that. And,
but Jordan, if you're watching, don't pay attention to the backside safety. You're not going to play another safety like that cat from Notre Dame.
And don't listen to half of the Twitter people.
Yeah. No, I am 100% pro Anthony Richardson. That does not mean I'm against Emory Jones. I like Emory. I know Emory, and Emory is an amazing kid, like awesome guy. And he's going to do well. He's going to make money playing this game. It's not his fault that Anthony Richardson is behind him. And it's not his fault that Anthony Richardson may be the best quarterback that Florida has seen in the last decade, including Kyle Trask. Okay.
Which is the same.
Anthony Richardson, if you're watching, that's okay. You have the second picture. Okay. Don't hit it yet. Oh, no, that's not it. Okay. All right.
This is Stephon Urkel. This is Steve Urkel.
Right. Okay.
So
talk for a second.
Let's just analyze this. And Aunt Rich, it's all love. But you know what you look like in here. Now we got a young man who's very skinny, no chest, very like this is a basketball player frame. If you look at this, every black man has to pay attention to their edge. And this is ridiculous. You don't go take pictures. You got to be crispy here. The glasses, you're at a football camp. We don't take glasses, but I like that means he doesn't care. Now, we all have things. For me, when I was his age and still, I have a large head. I had to grow into my head. Anthony has nostrils. Right. Anthony needed to grow into his nose. Now, when you see now, none of these things stand out. This was a sophomore year, right?
No.
This was his junior year?
Well, no, you're right. You're right. Okay. So, it was a sophomore, I guess. Late in his sophomore year. Now, Miles, you ready? Okay. Because what we're about to show you is not 5 years later.
Right. Yeah. This is like
11 months.
Yeah.
11 months later, my man Urkel, who I loved at the time.
Yeah.
Loved, great kid.
My bad. Sophomore going into the junior year.
Correct.
And then his junior year is when he made all the big jumps.
This is what he turned into 11 months later. Go ahead, Miles. That.
So again, he's smarting up. You see, if you notice the eyes, right? There's a significant difference there. There's no goggles.
This is the same camp. Notice the backsplash.
If you notice here,
same photographer.
Now, if you don't have the edge crispy, nothing states you mean business, then the skull, then the do-rag.
Right.
It actually,
which he still sports today.
It actually looks like this kid right here might have spent summer camps in juvenile detention. Now, if you look here, there's muscles. Face has gone out sideways a little bit more, grown into the nose. I'm not necessarily, the stud earrings weren't there in the last picture, but they're there now. Like this, like if you know, look at the neck. The neck is grown.
His voice went down like 10 octaves.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I know his coach. He was at Gainesville Eastside, right?
Yeah,
Said is not known for strength and conditioning prowess.
Right.
I don't know how this happened. But I will say, probably prayers from a mother, a praying mother and a praying grandmother is probably what got this guy developed in this manner. And
one more time, go back to the before. Can we go back to the before?
Yeah.
Okay, before 11 months later. For those of you, like, you may be watching this saying, I want to start working out.
Right.
Okay, this isn't going to happen to you. Right. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen to you. This isn't in the cards for you. This is an 11-month transformation like you have never seen in your life. And if you're listening to this and not watching on YouTube, then dang you. Go subscribe to our YouTube because you need to see this. This Anthony Richardson, also known as Ant, and now Anthony Richardson 11 months later.
Right. So what I'm
got darker.
Yeah, what I'm saying is what you need to do for your children. Stud earrings and a do-rag. Right. And then what happens is your kid will, no, that's not going to happen. Not at all. This is why Trey drinks milk. I know all the bad things that people, that you liberals and tree-hugging bunny lovers have told me about milk. I know that milk is supposed to be bad for you and you're not supposed to drink it. That being said, there are people who look like this on the planet. I want my sons to live and have a chance. So we're drinking milk.
He's 16.
Yeah, I'm saying my kids are drinking milk so that they can look like this one day. You let your kids drink almond milk and that vegan shit. My kids are gonna do this, and and your kids may live to 90 if my kids allow them to live to 90. My kids may die at 70. But they're gonna die living, damn it. They're gonna die living
with milk
mustaches and do-rags. I'm not there yet. I don't know if I'm gonna give them diamond stud earrings, but damn it, Anthony's looking good, man. And I wish him nothing.
Hey, give us some Green Acres. Give us some Green Acres since we were talking about AR-15. Get to Green Acres Sporting Goods. For all of your firearm fishing needs.
Speaking of AR-15, $699 gets you an AR-15 from Green Acres Sporting Goods.
There you go. Go to greenacresporting.com. Is that right?
Greenacresporting.com, yes.
Greenacresporting.com. When I tell you like a huge place full of everything you need, I'm not kidding. It is worth, if you live like where we live, what is it, 30 minutes?
Yeah,
25 minutes?
If that.
It's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. You go to Green Acres over off of Normandy. That's where it's at, right?
Off of Normandy.
GreenAcresSporting.com. They've got everything, including ammo. You need to get out there. You need to see our boy Z enter the raffle for the AR-12.
Yes.
What did you give me the other day?
I meant to send the picture. Is it too late to send the picture if I send
you know what? You'd have to send it to Dallas, like, because that's the thing hooked to that.
All right, we'll put it up next time.
I'm not going to give his phone number on the air.
Yeah, I'll give it. Well, I have his number.
We'll send it in. He'll put it up. Can you put it up real quick, Dallas, if he sends it? Yeah, I mean, Dallas is like a whiz.
On the tickets to get the AR-12 are $10 per ticket.
The AR-12 is not what we're about to show. By the way.
It's $20 for 2 tickets, unless you understand the assignment, because some of you guys are borderline IEP numbers because you still haven't subscribed to YouTube,
right? Because
we're at 861, we're close to 1,000, but we need to get there.
Come on!
But if you go in and you say the Sports Den sent you for that $20, you're gonna get 4 tickets to the raffle. The gun is a lot more than $20. Now, I know how all of you people are. You're going to say your gun store gives it to you for AR-12s for $20.
Y'all are lying.
That's got nothing to do with us. Your gun store don't support us. We support those who support us, and y'all should support who supports us. Damn all your other stuff. But Z and them are good. I had somebody tell me the other day, they stopped by there. They were very grateful about how knowledgeable and how they were treated.
Z is the dude.
Now, this gun
is about to come up on our screen.
Everybody asked me, so I asked Z.
It's 3 racks,
$3,000, probably taken from Pablo Escobar's and the cartels.
Well, that's the story you can tell.
Yeah,
that's the Desert Eagle pistol,
right?
Which is made in the USA,
which is important because most of you
tells us this right here. Yeah, trademarked, registered. What does it mean?
Yeah, registered. Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need that.
I don't have $3,000. I'm not spending $3,000 for a gun.
I may.
Well, it's at Green Acres Sporting, and you know what's cool? He's got ammo for it, and most of these places don't have ammo. So, to quote Z, what's the purpose of having a gun or selling guns if you don't have nothing to put in them?
Can I answer that?
Yeah,
I may open carry that.
Oh, without a doubt. Well, why you don't? I'm not buying that to just tuck it away in the house.
No. Like I may just float around Texas in that.
Oh, and for those who want to know, that's a 50 cal. So that goes really, really boom.
Get to Green Acres, greenacresporting.com is where you need to go. Let's move on. We got to be quick about this real quick. I went up to Charlotte for Georgia, Clemson. We can throw the humidor.com up there if that's good. Make sure you get to the humidor.com. sportsden gets you 20% off, all lowercase, one word. Went up to Charlotte for Georgia Tech, Clemson. I got to see Carson, which is why I went, Carson Beck. Other than that, it was the most boring game I've ever watched in my life.
It was extremely boring.
The atmosphere was amazing. I other than Florida, Georgia, I had never been to a neutral site game. And so I think that was cool for me because there's always noise. You know what I mean? Like there's always somebody doing something. The Clemson peeps, like I mean, it was 50-50. It was like Florida, Georgia,
Okay.
but I will say this. I think the Clemson fans are getting a little spoiled. They're getting a little bit spoiled.
A little bit?
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of bit.
I didn't get the sense of urgency from the Clemson faithful that I got from the Georgia faithful. I felt like that game meant more. I'm not talking about the players or the coaches, but I felt like that game meant more to the Georgia fans than it did the Clemson fans.
Well, I mean, Clemson has not conference relevance.
Right.
They've got relevance because they've won a national championship. So don't jump me, Georgia fan. I'm just saying Clemson has been there. They've beaten Bama consistently or beaten Bama in the game. And all that. I mean, they didn't beat Bama in the game.
What did you just do that?
Oh, wow.
Use code sportsden, all lowercase, all one word for 20% off.
Well, that's the truth.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, wow.
Sorry.
Wow. That's tough. That's great. Interesting. But anyways, Clemson's like, hey, we've been here, blah, blah, blah. Georgia is the fans that really need to win something big
so bad.
Because I love Curb to death, but statistically speaking, when you line it up, there is no difference between Kirby and Mark Richt at this point. We can talk about the playoff, but in Mark Richt's second year, when they played us in the Sugar Bowl, they should have been in the national championship.
I think the program is in a better place with Kirby than it was.
Well, when the end of Mark's tenure, I'll give you that. But they've always been
it's in a better place than at any point.
They've always recruited well.
No,
they've never not recruited well. And Kirby in year 2 went to the playoff. Mark in year 2 went to the equivalent of the playoff or should have been in the national championship. All the correlate, and then after that, it was a bunch of years where you're just like you're good. You're one of the best teams. You just haven't taken a step. Now, he didn't have Alabama to deal with at that time.
That's very true.
But
who was it? Who was it then?
Actually, it would have been for most of the years Florida. 06 is when Florida kept resurged.
06, 08.
And then LSU was Saban. So it would have been during that time. So it was the SEC. A rotation. It was a rotation. It just wasn't
Auburn with Cam.
Yeah, he was still there then. Yeah. But his 10 year or however, I think he was there for 10 years. Yeah. Was not bad. We looked at it the statistically from wins.
Oh, it was awesome.
They're the exact same. So I mean, but to justify where they're at, it's a lot more pressure to win something and at least get back to the national championship game. But you also know you got an uphill battle because offensively you look putrid.
Okay, let's go there.
Now, I mean, from what I saw,
here's one of these two things is true. A, Georgia's defense is unbelievable. And their front four are all going to be first-round draft picks.
Without doubt. Now, I understand why Johnson came to Florida State.
Okay.
Their guys are that good.
That's A.
And he's really good.
That's A. I guess there's 3. So I'm gonna give you a C2. B, Clemson's not very good up front, which, by the way, was the case last year, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't great up front last year. Or C, a combination of the two. Right? Georgia's not as great as they looked up front. And Clemson, Clemson's a little better than terrible up front, right? DJ had no time to throw all night. People want to talk about DJ, and I talked about DJ in our group chat about Dr. Pepper. Did they want their money back? All that kind of stuff. Like, we haven't talked about that with name, image, likeness. They're running Dr. Pepper commercials with DJ, whatever his name is, ukulele all day. And then he went out there and laid an egg. Given the choice of DJ or JT Daniels, I'm taking DJ every single day. DJ got the most out of. I was there. Okay. There were no open receivers. None. Ever. Partly because of Georgia's DBs, but more because of Georgia's front seven. They got there so quickly. Right? DJ fought his ass off. DJ did everything he could possibly do in that game. I still believe that DJ is a top 10 pick, top 5 pick.
Okay.
I still believe he's that talented. With that being said, and Georgia fans are going to get on to me for this, and it has nothing to do with Carson Beck. Absolutely nothing. JT is extremely overrated. JT Daniels. JT Daniels had some opportunities in that game that DJ did not have. Georgia should have won that game by 24. I mean, I feel very comfortable in saying that. Georgia is significantly better than Clemson right now. Their defense, their offensive line, their running backs. I mean, they were without their top receiver, Pickens. They were without their top tight end in Washington. They were still better at all the positions. Those top 3 recruiting classes showed themselves the other night.
Wow.
Like, that's the thing. They were deeper. They were better. They were just a collection of talent better than what Clemson had, period. That's what it was. JT, if he would have hit the throws he was supposed to hit, if he'd have made the reads he was supposed to make, Georgia wins that game 24-3. There was not, you realize there was not an offensive touchdown in that game?
No.
Yeah.
That's just
the touchdown from Georgia was a pick 6. It was 10-3. There was not an offensive touchdown in that game. Now, I'll say this. Clemson, you got a problem on your offensive line. When you have 23 rushes for 2 yards, that's an issue. 23 rushes for 2 yards.
It's not optimal.
No. But here's the bigger issue. Outside of DJ scrambling around for his life, do you want to know how many times they ran the football? Legitimately ran the football?
How many?
9. 9.
So people abandon.
Yes. In a 10-3 game, final score, Clemson ran the football 9 times. What are they doing?
Was Tony Elliott still there?
Yes. 9. Dixon had 1 carry for 10 yards. Shipley had 4 carries for 7. Pace had 4 carries for 7. And DJ had 14 for -22. 9 times they ran the football. DJ was 19 of 37 for 178 yards and a pick. And then they ran the ball 9 times. If I'm Florida State, if I'm Miami, if I'm Virginia Tech, which we hadn't even gotten to, the failure that North Carolina is right now, I'm looking at this going, wait a second. Like, who are you, Clemson? You just lost Trevor Lawrence, and you ran the ball 9 freaking times? Like, the best quarterback that's ever played at your university, and it's not even close, just left you. And what you did was you threw the ball 37 times against an elite defense, and you ran the ball 9 times? What kind of coaching is that? What are you doing, Dabo? 9 freaking times?
Well, Dabo's not an offensive genius.
What would you do if you saw that as your stat line in Tallahassee?
I would be livid.
Right? Georgia ran the ball 31 times. Now, they only had 121 yards. 31 times, though, to 9.
You have a philosophy, you're sticking to it. And you have to run, no matter how much people want to brag about, you need good quarterback play. You need to be able to throw the ball, but you have to establish the run. You have to play good defense, no matter what level of football you're playing outside of I-9 flag football. But even then, we're going to establish the run. You've got to if you have a good defense and you have a solid running game, you can win a lot of football games. You add in an elite quarterback and passing game, that's when you become Alabama. That's why you can see Alabama can go from, and that's what's scary. Alabama has said, okay, they're the old guy on the basketball court. Okay, youngsters, y'all want to come shoot the ball from half court? Okay, I'm show you what I can do. I can do this too.
We're a left-handed layup
and then
on you.
When it's not hitting, and like you come over there, you bragging, you shimmy in the shoulders. Oh, you want to do that? So now they just bodying you, just banging, crashing boards, like you just said. Coming up here, switch to the left hand, playing old man ball.
Larry Bird.
That's what Alabama can beat you with pro style. They can beat you spread.
Yep.
They can beat you however you want to do it.
They can embarrass you.
But they've literally got it down to a science that what you know Alabama's going to have. They're going to have a good running back. they're going to have a good, solid defense, and they can bludgeon you to death if they want to. They're just throwing. Actually, it may be an act of mercy now that they're spreading the ball out and just throwing the ball on you.
You watch a lot of Clemson football, right?
Yeah, well, I have.
There's a guy there that I'm convinced is in his 12th year there. Like we need, you know how in Little League they do like birth certificate checks? We need this on this guy. James Skalski or Skowski, number 47.
That's the linebacker.
He's still there.
No, he was there when they won national championship they won.
He's still there, bro.
I thought he left.
No, he had 14 tackles. When I saw him and they said the name, I was like, what?
That's the that's the white linebacker that's everywhere.
Yes, he's still there.
It's funny because
I swear when I graduated high school, he was in my class.
But it's funny because when they won the national championship or when they were balling or whatever, everybody was like, yeah, that's what I've seen FSU. That's what we need. We need white linebackers like that. We need disciplined, hard-nosed guys. I'm like, no, nobody's recruiting that. He just happened to work. He developed. But that's interesting, man.
I have confirmed he's a senior.
Yeah, citizen.
He's still there, bro. All right. Georgia, you guys are going to be fine. Y'all play nobody the rest of the year until Florida.
Yeah, they play Florida.
Bro, they play. Go look at their schedule. Pull it up.
You're right.
They play nobody until they play Florida. Nobody. So y'all enjoy the next 2 months of very uneventful football until you come down here to Jacksonville. Real quickly, Miami, Alabama. Like, what are we even going to say? I don't even. I mean. Okay, one, Bryce Young, there's no fall off. Bryce Young is legit. Like I told you guys last week, this dude is like a combination of Tua and Mac Jones. And that's probably not even doing him credit because he's actually more mobile than Tua was. Mm-hmm. All he did in his very first start was go 27 of 38 for 344 with 4 tutties. All right, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Like that's insane.
That man can knit a sweater in that pocket.
Very true. No, very true.
And when I saw Bubba Bolden go out, which was a dumb play, and he deserved to go out. I'm not gonna lie to you. And you can don't get mad at me, get mad at the person who did it. Because he saw the same thing that we all saw. I saw a man make a business decision. He saw that ass whooping coming from a long way away. And that targeting penalty, because it was so unnecessary for him to even go, because that guy was clearly going to the ground. And he goes and hits the guy. And I'm like, yo, you were like, I can't get no bad film. This is the best way to not get bad film is to not be in this game. So, but it was a solid and thorough ass whipping.
There's no embarrassment in getting your butt kicked by Alabama.
Right. Well, it is when you do it this way.
Okay.
And this isn't for the JJs of the world.
Okay.
Because JJ's a Miami fan, but he's a fan when the game is playing. He's probably a dick. But after the game, like he's not telling you we're going to blow out Bama.
Right.
The rest of Miami Twitter has been in nothing but a rush to tell us all how back they are. They said we
went for a decade.
But no, we want Bama. I think we're going to win this. There are receipts everywhere.
Nobody wants Bama.
And I told some of them, I said, listen, you don't want these problems, man. I've seen what it could do to your program. We ain't recovered since. Now, I got some shoes and paid a couple bills off of that article that I wrote. But if you would have told me that writing that article, Alabama don't take this ass whooping personally, would have been the downfall of Florida State's program, I wouldn't have written it. I would have just been calm and just said, you know what? I just here to watch good football. And we didn't even get blown out. I think the score was it 20-6 or 20-7 or something like that. Like y'all.
But you knew at halftime.
Well, yeah, I know at halftime it was, yeah. But there wasn't they scored on y'all before everybody got off of their bus.
Right.
And
before it started streaming on my phone, they scored on y'all.
We talk about Mackenzie Milton and
the delay on my phone.
This is crazy. That's wild.
That's wild, man. Their score. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
y'all talk about hop along for us.
Dude, can you turn your flashlight off?
Oh, it's on? Yeah. We talk about hop along for us. Y'all trotted out a guy who literally just tore his ACL and you knew you didn't have a chance. You have a coach who has literally just admitted that, yeah, we knew we were going to lose. Like, it's Alabama. What do you expect? Now, granted, I understand.
Everybody feels that way.
But you're not supposed to say that.
No.
Not to the public. Because I don't believe in conference pride, but the bottom line is y'all talked about, like, I think we could beat Bama. I think we can get this. And then the thing that you do after that is, oh, well, it's Bama and, who cares? No, like, you were just selling out, take that ass whip and own it. And I know you ain't talking. That's the worst thing. That's my hater clock. The worst thing that you can do after you got your ass whooped is look at other people and say, oh, I know you ain't talking. Yes, we are talking. Yes, we're talking because you talked all summer about how you had a chance and that you were on the same level as the Alabama that nobody talks like that about. We have all learned our lesson. Every program that has actually done something of relevance this last decade. Wait a minute, I'm about to have my 20-year class reunion. This is 21, right?
Yeah.
I just thought about it. So 2022. I played high school football 20 years ago for the last time. That's the last time you won a national championship.
Which puts you in much better company than Georgia, by the way.
Facts. You are you're Georgia of the ACC.
Oh.
No, I apologize, because Georgia has at least played in the national championship game.
That's mean.
Georgia wins bowl games. Georgia does more than just talk. They have it. What Georgia has is one of the greatest dynasties that have ever played.
That's so mean to Georgia.
In the same conference as them.
Bro, Georgia beats Miami by 30.
Miami, it is time for y'all to sit at the table and shut up until you do something. Like, again, I'm not saying this from a place of rivalry. I'm saying this as a place of concern. Don't do that again.
No, you're not.
Like, don't put your children in situations where they could possibly die, and then brag about it. And then because you're not being sacrificed, old people, you're sacrificing the youth. Young men die in wars that old men created.
I feel bad for Miami.
Why?
Is it Miami fans' fault that they scheduled LSU, which is another topic for Wednesday?
Yes.
That they scheduled LSU a couple years ago, and then they scheduled Alabama for this game? It's not their fans' fault.
It's not their fans' fault. We know it happened. It's a good money game for them. My problem is let's just be. I'm not saying concede the loss.
Their opening weekend opponent be?
The App States of the world, like they've had. Now the problem is
they play App State this week.
So hold up, time out. Remember what is the game that I said? I said Miami could lose at least 3 games. Do you remember the 3 games that I said?
Yeah, Michigan State.
Looking a lot more solid right now. Dude, y'all better, man, please. One, you're lucky we didn't win.
They're better than
had we beat Notre Dame.
You're not worried about App State.
App State's pretty well coached ball club.
I understand that, but Miami beats App State.
But Miami's playing App State at home, right? They're not going to App State this time.
I would assume.
It's just one. Don't. They played in the Glass Bowl now at Tulsa. Now they're not afraid to go into hostile environments now.
I'm trying to think of like maybe Kentucky would be a good open. No,
that'd be a good traveling game.
Oklahoma State.
That'd be
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State's good one. Yeah,
Oklahoma State.
That's some
Oregon State
name recognition,
right?
In Colorado. A Power 5 conference, so you're not going to get clowned, but you have a better chance of winning that one out the gate. You don't want to take your bumps and bruises against Bama. Bama is the team that you have to play at the end of the year because you were successful. That's not the team I want to play. And granted, my alma mater has scheduled these people dumb. But, we didn't learn our lesson. But at least we got a home and home.
Speaking of Oregon State, real quick, and then we got to wrap up. Shout out to my boy Jake Luton.
He got picked up?
No, I told you last week. He signed with the Seahawks.
No. That's right.
Opening press conference. Who does he mention today?
You? That's what's up. Nice.
Bam. In Seattle. Picked up a ton of followers on Twitter at Denny_Thompson. Anything else? No. We got to go, dude. This has been like a marathon. Like, we don't have any commercials. You guys understand. We just did an hour and a half with no commercials. We ran out of drink.
Bro.
Like, it's a nightmare.
This was a 2-hour radio show.
Oh,
No, I'm saying our
way more
our
than that.
Hour and a half is hour and 20 is about what the SoundCloud always says.
All right.
You know what we got to do next time now that we have the board?
What?
We got to go ahead while we're doing our shares.
But if we're gonna do during the day, like, what are we gonna do about these guys?
I got Miles is already trying to set his schedule up. I got Bobby Brown who wants to come in and see us.
Dude,
and
that's
he's a producer.
clutch. Bobby Brown?
Not that Bobby Brown. Not the king of R&B Bobby Brown, rocks and blunts.
Wait, we're in my house. Like, doesn't Bobby Brown have some issues? I don't want Bobby Brown coming to my house.
We need to probably meet with Bobby first, and then
need a background check.
But anyways, Bobby knows how to work producer equipment. Okay. So he might be a good addition. And he wants to add his show to the Den Media Group Network. And but we should play our intro music and keep this. Well, I don't know if they see that or not. They're seeing that.
Go to YouTube.
We need to see the Sports Den logo while we're playing the music. We can share everything, and then we can pop ourselves up on the screen. You can have multiple screens on. I don't know. Anyways, whatever, dude.
At a time.
We'll talk about that later.
Just between you and I'm out of money, bro.
You just bought a.
If there's anything else,
is that new?
We'll talk about that after. If there's anything else that we need in the studio, it's gonna have to wait. Like I'm out. I'm tapped out. All right, we got to get out. You guys have a great rest of your Monday night. We will see you guys Wednesday. Is that the plan?
Yes, Wednesday.
Yeah, we got to talk Jeff Sims. We got to talk Georgia Tech. We got to talk. Well, there's a lot. We got Jags opening weekend. There's a lot. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.